So, welcome back. So, today what we'll be doing is we'll be reassembling the engine, putting the clutch on, and then actually building it onto the subframe as a standard unit, so it's all as one unit. So we can just roll it under the car, lift the car up and drop it down. So we're going to jump on the engine now, put all the clutch and pressure plates and everything back in it. We're not changing the thrust bearing. There's no need. The gentleman bought the engine off. The thrust bearing is actually new. The clutch isn't, they just replaced the thrust bearing. So we're going to keep that thrust bearing for now. If it starts playing us up a later date, we'll change it. So let's get cracking. So, as you can see, we've got the backing plate on and the flywheel back on. This is the original flywheel, but it's not actually done many miles. The engine in itself has only done, 24,000 miles. It could do with one being replaced, but for now we're leaving it standard because I'm trying to find a single mast instead of a dual mast because I'm not a fan of these. The clutch I've ordered, I thought might be right, but with the thrust bearing being wrong and the fact the pressure plate doesn't actually fit onto it, I'm assuming that there must be two variants of this clutch system, so I'm going to send it back and get the right one. But for now, we're going to put the gearbox on, get the starter motor on. We can still start the car without the clutch, but just to make sure it's in neutral and make sure the wheels off the ground. So we're going to gearbox on, and then we're going to move that. We're going to move over to the subframe, rebuild that with all its new bits, and then put the engine in and drop it in the metro. So then, what we've done is we've got the gearbox on. As you saw, there's no pressure plate or friction plate in it. It must be the wrong kit. I've just looked and there are 2 to 3 different clutches for it, so it's got to be different. We're also missing a load of bolts. I'm missing all of them off the pressure plate, one off the starter motor, one off the drive shaft, the other side. I'm missing various bolts, but that can't be helped. If it was a normal car or a normal engine, you just go down to any sort of auto shop and pick them up. As this is an Alfa Romeo and it's become a nightmare for nuts and bolts, yeah, I'm going to have to order these ones. So what we're going to do now, we're going to jump over to the subframe, we're going to lift it up and we're going to start reassembling that as a full unit, and then we're going to drop the engine in and then get it in the car. Let's get cracking. So, as you can see, nice new painted wishbones. We've put some new ball joints on the end. We've done the same with the hubs. We've put new top ball joint on. We've also put the spacer in, which is for the hopefully pushing the front of the car. So what we're going to do now is we're going to jump over to the subframe and start assembling it. So, as you see, my brother-in-law's just taken out the steering rack. What we're going to do now is we're going to lift the front of the car up, we're going to slide the subframe in, we're going to put the subframe back into the car first because I forgot that the way I designed it was silly. And then we're going to drop the engine in. My friend is currently in the bonnet of his car. You see that? He's trying to squeeze in there. So we'll be right back. So then, as you can see, and as you've just seen, one little spacer block at the top of the ball joints, which you can see just about there, has actually lifted the car up to actually where it's much more comfortable now. Clears the wheel arches, which is amazing. Obviously we're still going to cut the wheel arches back a little bit, but we're not worried about that for now. We're going to wheel it outside because the DVLA wants some pictures in natural light apparently. We're going to wheel it out and we're just going to take some pictures of it, have a walk around the car in natural light. So let's get cracking. So then, as you can see, she is currently sat outside for the first time since she's come in. She's looking a lot better than she was. Nice green engine bars. New engine. So just straight up fabrication. The rear bumper has come off. We did drop the car off a stand, so the bumper's come off. It wasn't even tacked on. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take some pictures of all this framing, all the bits at the front, all this cage for the DVLA, because this is apparently what they want to see. To see if we need to do an SVA or an IVA, or she'll just have an MOT. So let's get cracking. So then, as you can see, we've managed to get her out in the sunlight for the first time in about a year, I'd say. It's coming along quite well now. I'm really happy the wheel arch is now fit. Yes, you still need a bit of trimming, which is an obvious thing of load of the car. She's sitting still on a raked angle, which is really nice. She's clearing. She seems to move in and out all right. There's no weird knocks or bangs, but obviously we won't know fully until we've got everything done. So next week what we'll be doing is we've finished mounting the engine, so we've got to put the rear engine mount back in, but we're going to have to move it forward a little bit. I think it's a bit too far back or a bit too forward, whichever way. And then we will be cracking on. We'll be putting the radiator oil cooler and trying to find somewhere to make the big IDTT intercooler. But for all of us at Smoking Retros, hit the like button, drop a comment, subscribe. See you next time.